Yes, I have tricks in my pocket, I have things up my sleeve, but I am the opposite of a stage magician. He gives you illusion that has the appearance of truth. I give you the truth in the pleasant disguise of illusion. To begin with, I turn back time. I reverse it to that quaint period, the 30s, when the huge middle class of America was matriculating in a school for the blind. Their eyes had failed them, or they had failed their eyes. And so they were having their fingers pressed forcibly down on the fiery braille alphabet of a dissolving economy. In Spain, there was revolution. Here, there was only shouting and confusion. In Spain, there was Guernica. Here, there were disturbances of labor, sometimes pretty violent, in otherwise peaceful cities such as Chicago, Cleveland, St. Louis. This is the social background of the play. The play is memory. Being a memory play, it is dimly lighted. It is sentimental. It is not realistic. In memory, everything seems to happen to music. That explains the fiddle and the wings. I am the narrator of the play and also a character in it. The other characters are my mother Amanda, my sister Laura, and a gentleman caller who appears in the final scenes. He is the most realistic character in the play, being an emissary from a world of reality that we were somehow set apart from. But since I have a poet's weakness for symbols, I am using this character also as a symbol. He is the long-delayed, but always expected something that we live for. There is a fifth character in the play who doesn't appear except in the larger-than-life-size photograph over the mantel. This is our father, who left us a long time ago. He was a telephone man who fell in love with long distances. He gave up his job with the telephone company and skipped the light fantastic out of town. The last we heard from him was a picture postcard from Mexican on the Pacific coast of Mexico, containing a message of 2 words, hello, goodbye, and no address. I would think the rest of the play will explain itself.
Tom,
Yes, Mother.
we can't say grace until you come to the table.
Coming, Mother.
Honey, don't push your fingers. If you have to push with something, the thing to push with is a crust of bread. And chew. Animals have secretions in their stomachs which enable them to digest food without mastication. But human beings are supposed to chew their food before they swallow it down. Eat food leisurely, son, and really enjoy it. A well-cooked meal has lots of delicate flavors that have to be held in the mouth for appreciation. So chew your food and give your salivary glands a chance to function.
I haven't enjoyed one bite of this dinner because of your constant directions on how to eat it. It's you that make me rush through meals with your hawk-like attention to every bite I take. Sickening. Spoils my appetite. All this discussion of animal secretion, salivary glands, mastication.
Temperament like a metropolitan star. You're not excused from the table.
I'm getting a cigarette.
You smoke too much. I'll bring in the mackintosh. No, sister. You be the lady this time, and I'll be the darky. I'm already up. Resume your seat, little sister. I want you to stay fresh and pretty. For gentlemen callers.
I'm not expecting any gentlemen callers.
Sometimes they come when they are least expected. Why, I remember one Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain.
I know it's coming.
Yes, but let her tell it.
Again?
She loves to tell it.
One Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain, your mother received 17 gentlemen callers. Why, sometimes there weren't chairs enough to accommodate them all. We had to send the nigger over to bring in folding chairs from the parish house.
How did you entertain those gentlemen callers?
I understood the art of conversation.
I bet you could talk.
Girls in those days knew how to talk, I can tell you.
Yes?
They knew how to entertain their gentlemen callers. It wasn't enough for a girl to be possessed of a pretty face and a graceful figure. Although I wasn't slighted in either respect, she also needed to have a nimble wit and a tongue to meet all occasions.
What did you talk about?
Things of importance going on in the world, never anything coarse or common or vulgar. My callers were gentlemen, all. Among my callers were some of the most prominent young planters of the Mississippi Delta, planters and sons of planters. There was young Champ Laughlin, who later became vice president of the Delta Planters Bank. Hadley Stevenson, who was drowned in Moon Lake and left his widow $150,000 in government bonds. There were the Courtier brothers, Wesley and Bates. Bates was one of my bright particular beaux. He got in a quarrel with that wild Wainwright boy. They shot it out on the floor of Moon Lake Casino. Bates was shot through the stomach, died in the ambulance on his way to Memphis. His widow was also well provided for, who came into 8 or 10,000 acres. That's all. She married him on the rebound, never loved her, carried my picture on him the night he died. And there was that boy that every girl in the Delta had set her cap for, that beautiful, brilliant young Fitzhugh boy from Greene County.
What did he leave his widow?
He never married. Gracious, you talk as though all my old admirers had turned up their toes to the daisies.
Isn't this the first you've mentioned that still survives?
That Fitzhugh boy went to North and made a fortune. Came to be known as the Wolf of Wall Street. He had the Midas touch. Whatever he touched turned to gold. And I could have been Mrs. Duncan J. Fitzhugh, mind you, but I picked your father.
Mother, let me clear the table.
No, dear. You go in front and study your typewriter chart, or practice your shorthand a little. Stay fresh and pretty. It's almost time for our gentlemen callers to start arriving. How many do you suppose we're going to entertain this afternoon?
I don't believe we're going to receive any, Mother.
What? No one? Not one? You must be joking. Not one gentleman caller? It can't be true. There must be a flood. There must have been a tornado.
It isn't a flood. It's not a tornado, Mother. I'm just not popular like you were in Blue Mountain.
Ugh,